I know I'm a little bit late to the party, and it's been a long time since I have uploaded, but I wanted to do a little bit of an analysis on this whole Tomodachi Life Living the Dream that's coming out, give you my inputs and what I hope to see from it. All right. So my apologies once again, but I'll show you the trailer first before I do anything about it.
I'm a buckle. Tornado da Hanji plus than yesterday.
All right. Well, I'm sure everybody's seen the trailer, right? But overall, if you don't know anything about me, I absolutely loved the original Tomodachi Life. I would have loved to play Tomodachi Life Collection. Tomodachi Collection when it first came out. But, I'm not over in Japan, right? So, I don't know. I see a lot of good things that could possibly come from this game. And it it just looks, it's different, all right? It looks different, but it looks good, if you know what I'm saying. And 2026 release date is one of those things that I feel is interesting to say the least. And I feel like that should be the first thing in this video that I go ahead and take a look at. All right. This release date of 2026. Now, what do I think this means? I think this means it is not just coming out on the Nintendo Switch, right? It came out, they announced this for the last Nintendo Switch Direct. If it's coming out 2026, I'm saying this is also coming out as a Nintendo Switch 2 game, all right? And now what I think they're going to do, because hopefully when I post this, it is the day before the Switch 2 Direct. So what I think they're going to do is talk a little bit about this game a little more in depth, either in the Switch 2 Direct or the Direct after. I'm not going to say they have something like the original 3DS Tomodachi Life Direct where they had an entire Direct dedicated to it, but you got the idea. Now, one thing that I saw from let me do a little explanation for why I'm like a week late to this party here. All right. When I was making sure to watch a lot of people's videos on their analyses about this, and a lot of people, I wanted to make sure I didn't top on everything that people were talking about. But one thing I heard somebody talk about in one of their videos was this here quick build uh, little shop. Now, I feel like this could mean maybe one of two things, right? I feel like that shop allows you to change up your island. Build an island how you want to build it, because it seems like the plots of land are like little tiny rectangles, so you can really build it however you want. And that's also something that goes along with, I think that, well, first of all, they definitely didn't show off the entire island, right? And here, I'll even go back a little bit, because when they did this whole like overview of the island here, they start from left to right, and you cannot see the right end over here of this whole island. And by the looks of it, there's about, oh no, yeah, you can. I'm counting like 15, nah, maybe 13 houses, right? And I think that's where that building area comes into play. And my reasoning for that is just because there's not. I think it all has to depend on the amount of Miis that you have on your island, right? The more Miis you have, the more land that you can put on your island, build onto. And I feel like that could be something huge for this game as a whole. Make everybody's islands fully unique. Now, I don't know, if do I think that they're gonna allow us to shift around the shops and whatnot? Maybe for your island. I don't know. That seems a little set in stone. But I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, and I don't see it like I didn't see the amusement park or anything in this entire thing here. So I don't know what they're gonna do for it. Right? I know things are obviously going to be different compared to the last game, as if it's not seen already. One thing that I did like about this was just the scenery of the island seems nice. It doesn't feel like an island, but just overall what they have on the island seems pretty nice. I do find the appearance of these Miis quite strange, to say the least. They look new and invigorated, but the thing that really caught my attention was that city in the background. And here's my reasoning for it. I think that's what they're going to do with the children in this game. And I made sure nobody topped on this topic at all. I wanted to make sure I was at least the first, to my opinion, to notice it. Was that this city? I think this is going to be the this Tomodachi Life's version of Child Travelers, because most likely, since this game is coming out on normal Switch, and I'm thinking Switch 2 as well, just because of the release date, I think there's not going to be Street Pass on the Switch 2, right? First of all. Second of all, I think that that city is basically going to be where you send your kid once they grow up, and the city's going to be more of an online sort of thing. Where if you have Nintendo Switch Online, they go there, meet up with all these other kids and whatnot that have been shipped to that city, right? And I feel like this is where back in the Tomodachi Life, where the island, where your island is comes into play, like Hot Dog Isle or whatever, 432, you know, where it gave your hot dog, where it gave, no, where not where it gave your hot dog, but where it gave your island somewhere where it was. I feel like that's where this comes into play, and I feel that that's where your kids are going to end up going, and maybe that's where more things are. Because look, if we stop it right here, or go back a little bit, all we can see here is the cafe, right? We don't see anything else. Like, we don't see an amusement park. We don't see the park. Now, I feel like the park might be, these picnic tables here, That might be their version of the park, or a little meetup area. It's definitely going to be different, to say the least. What I really do enjoy about this, though, is basically how the Mii's have more freedom on this island than what they did on the old Tomodachi Life, and even Tomodachi Life, and even Tomodachi Collection. They all had their own little houses to be in, but if their hobby allows it, they'll go out on their own and do whatnot. Like this breakdancing old man, hell yeah, right? I support it all the way. Just overall, like, it looks like probably the weight's got to be a hobby, right? But it's definitely going to be interesting. It looks like they have a lot more freedom, which I really enjoy. You can see them in what would be like more of an island format, rather than, oh, I'm just watching over these guys and and hoping nothing bad happens. And now, I absolutely love this stream. This kind of reminds me of the big head in the ocean watching you, or whatever it was, back from Tomodachi Life. But overall, I think this game is going to be great. And this is where the name, I think Tomodachi Life Living the Dream, that name comes from, I don't know if it's the island aesthetic or whatnot, or like being where you want to be sort of thing, where it's like, this is the life that I want sort of thing, or if it bases it off of, the dream aspect of the old Tomodachi Life, and maybe, I don't remember if it was in Tomodachi Collection or not, if there were dreams in there, because I haven't played it, obviously. But it looks like dreams are definitely going to have an aspect on this game, which I feel like is going to be really nice overall. And I just feel like it could shape up really, really well. It's just right now it seems like this island is just kind of like blank, and I feel that that has something to do with that island builder. There's got to be something. And I love the lighthouse, by the way. That lighthouse there looked fantastic. It's just one of those things where I feel that you can probably expand on the island, which somebody said, and I completely agree. I love how the fighting looks the same as the Tomodachi Life fighting, where it's just like the PNGs of images. It's not like you're throwing real stuff or anything. The main thing I want from this game is to keep the quirkiness, right? If you're going to change up Tomodachi Life and make it a bad game, it's going to be very upsetting to the whole fan base, right? I've been playing Tomodachi Life since 2014. I didn't play the launch year. I played the year after, right? So I feel like you got to keep it, similar to what it is. And one thing I really notice here that I think I'm going to really enjoy is now the Mii's will have something to do with that money. When they ask you for money, I see some vending machines up there in that little picnic table area. I think that might be something that the Mii's can spend their money on. Go to the cafe and spend some money there. The one thing I don't really understand is there's no hat shop. I mean, I'd suppose that's going to be grouped into the wear and wear shop there, which I think has to deal with clothing. But yeah, you can see the auction place, or whatever it was called, pawn shop, sorry. The food mart, the interior shop, but it's just going to be strange. That quick build, I really think you can change up how your island looks. And I feel like that's going to be something great for diverse islands. And if the city thing that I was talking about earlier comes to fruition, and like especially if you have friends that play the game, and your islander can go to that city and then travel to another boat to get to their island, I feel like that's gonna be something really cool. The one thing I don't understand though, married couples. It, I think it's gonna be something in the game where you can still get married, right? But I feel that it maybe the married couples go to the city because there's no way on that island there's enough room for 100 Mii's. Unless your island just grows and grows and grows and grows. But still, I don't know how that would fit on Nintendo Switch screen. Like, I get it, the Switch 2 is going to have a little bit bigger of a screen. But it's going to be on, I'm thinking, both devices. Right? So I don't know what they're doing for that necessarily. But overall, I think it looks very good. The entire design of the Mii's, though, just, it looks a little off. And maybe because, yeah, sure, it's an HDMI game, which, to my knowledge, Mii's haven't really had any games that are in this style. So, of course, they're going to look a little wonky. And what I really saw that caught my eye was the different hairstyles, right? And I think there's makeup in this game, too. So I feel like they're taking a page out of the Miitopia Mii Maker for the Switch. And I feel like that's a decent thing for standard of living wise. But I don't know. It's one of those things where we gotta wait and see. And I'm really hoping that they talk about this more. And I feel like they will. I feel like they're gonna give them maybe not an entire direct like they did back in 2012 or 2013, whenever they did to announce it back in the day with Bill Trinan. But I feel like they definitely need to do something about it to get into a more deeper dive. And I feel like that's something that I'm going to be looking forward to as the time progresses, getting closer to that 2026 launch date. Because they didn't even announce what day it's launching, it just says 2026. So I feel like they're definitely going to do a direct, or at least part of another direct, focusing on Tomodachi Life, to at least announce when it's getting released. And I feel like that's kind of a no-brainer at that point. But overall, I I don't know. I feel like we're going to really have to wait for them to go into more depth on it, because there's so many parts missing. It's just I feel like that city plays a bigger role than what most people currently think. I that's just my 2 cents on the matter. I don't know. I really like that old breakdancing dude. Uh, Most likely when the game comes out in 2026, I'll start making videos on it, and you guys got to remind me to add him to my island, because that's gonna be sick as hell. But but yeah, so most likely, if this goes out when I plan it to, I will be making a Nintendo Switch 2 direct reaction sort of thing, or analyzing what I think on the matter. Not just this Tomodachi Life. I'll let you know what my plan about the Switch 2 is, see what I can do. I will be getting back into making content. So yeah, I hope you all look forward to that as much as I look forward to this new Tomodachi Life, and I shall be seeing you sometime soon.